All right, we live. What up? Welcome to the Hoops Report, episode 1. Sergio Marquin coming
And the
at you live
mouse.
from. I'm in Chicago and I'm with Miles Taylor, my boy Miles. Miles, where you at,
I'm in Detroit right now.
dude?
Headed back to Phoenix tomorrow morning.
Tell me about the freaking your day today.
So I'm out in Livonia right now, which is predominantly white, the white rich part of Detroit. But I'm working out in Highland Park, and Highland Park is predominantly African American. Out in the slums, the average median home price there is $32,000. Yeah,
For
the
one
average
house.
one house. The average income there is 17,000. There's not a whole lot of legitimate income coming in there. So I was driving around in Highland Park, and we went by a KFC, and there was literally like 4 inches of plexiglass in between us and the cashiers. And they had this wild turntable thing that delivered our food to us. It was like no other experience I've ever experienced.
Dude, that sounds crazy.
It was pretty cool, actually, like a cultural experience. So I appreciate it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm actually going to South Dakota tomorrow, flying out.
That's a different culture out there too. I was out in like Sioux City, that whole area.
Sioux
Like,
Falls.
yeah,
That's where I'm going.
yeah, it's like the border of Nebraska, South Dakota, and Iowa. It's like right
Yeah,
there, right?
it's like that weird try part.
It's an interesting culture out there too. Kind of simple. Uh,
All right. But well, if you wanted a little break from football, we're here to talk basketball, NBA preview.
Starting with the worst,
The Kings.
the Sacramento Kings. There's not a whole lot to work with here.
No, they got number 2 pick in the draft, Marvin Bagley. We think they're going to be the worst team. Going through their roster. I mean, we could just start with Marvin Bagley.
Let's start with Marvin Bagley.
You're a Phoenix guy. You've heard of Marvin Bagley before the most of people.
I heard of Marvin Bagley back when he was a freshman in high school. He was tearing up local high schools and stuff. The guy was a beast. He led Corona del Sol to like 55 straight wins, 2 straight state championships without losing a single game, and then he switches and goes to an academy, which I didn't really like that much. I said that before. I don't respect that decision that he made. I think he could
Why is that?
I think he could have won like 4 state championships coming from like his local high school, and he could have got all the recognition in the world that he wanted. Like he would have got recognition from Duke, from Kentucky, from every school that he got recruited to. But I think he also could have gone to like a lot higher profile tournaments, to be honest with you. Um, Places like Torrey Pines. There's a big tournament, the Holiday Classic in Florida, I think, is one of the bigger ones.
Yeah. Just any one of those national tournament games where it's like not a, like you said, not an academy, where it's your actual high school where you can compete for the state championship.
Yeah, public schools. And I think
Public
it
schools,
honestly
yeah.
goes a long ways coming from like a public school and bringing them up to a national ranking. Like that's huge to have a public school amongst all those other like IMG Academy and stuff like that.
And it probably wouldn't have hurt his development either. I mean, he
Not at all.
even if
I
he
mean,
wouldn't have
like,
won it, it'd been fine.
yeah, in the summers, he would have gone off to do his AAU thing. He would have been able to do everything that he did. I mean, I don't think it would have hurt his career at all. That
Yeah.
being said, I mean, he still went to Duke, did his thing at Duke.
I
In the
kind of want to
summer
start.
league,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
wanted to start with Summer League because I think he showed a lot in Summer League. You know, most of his offense, a lot of it's going to come from the offensive glass, putbacks. You know, he's going to get the ball a lot in the low post, I think, just because he's probably their go-to player at this point. I mean,
Yeah, I
picking.
mean, he's so athletic. I don't think there's a whole lot of guys that'll be able to stop him, especially if he figures out how to go over his left shoulder. And I was a little bit disappointed in him, honestly, in the summer league because he kind of looked like he was just rushing everything almost. He looked immature to me for
Like he's
being,
forcing it.
yeah, for being like a go-to guy. And it seemed like he almost didn't quite know what to do because he didn't have all of the luxuries that he had at Duke. Where he
Oh,
had the whole
Coach K was feeding him ball screens, go-to plays where he was the number one option, clear outs. Wendell Carter was pretty much just cleanup duty at that point.
that, and he had like luxurious players to kick out to as
Oh
well.
yeah,
And he's definitely not even going to have that on the Kings now. And I think he saw that in the summer league where it looked way more difficult for him than I felt like it should have looked. Where his matchup with DeAndre Ayton, I feel like Ayton flat out outclassed him. And it wasn't like Bagley played bad, but he got outplayed.
and that's the whole thing. It's like Sacramento had the number 2 pick. Everyone knew Ayton was going 1. They could have gone a number of different ways. They could have gone Trae Young. They could have gone Luka Doncic. They didn't. They went Marvin Bagley, and they decided to have an identity with a stretch 4, a stretch 5. He's just a big. He's just a modern day big who can hopefully stretch the floor. And
it'll be interesting how they use him with Willie Cauley-Stein.
But can he be a franchise player? I mean, can you expect him to score 25 points in a game? And
I think that he can.
Is he like a Joel Embiid type talent? I don't think so.
I don't think he has that mentality, to be honest with you. Like Joel Embiid has a nasty attitude. Nobody wants to mess with him. And I don't see that in Marvin Bagley. I can see him being kind of a luxury on a great team. Yeah.
You're not a guy that's high on Luka Doncic, though. You don't think you don't think the Kings would have been good with him, right?
I don't really. I like him, but I just don't feel like he was
as a centerpiece.
Yeah, I feel like he's a really good role player at this point in his career, at least. I like his experiences at 19 years old, and he's been playing pro ball for 4 years or something. I like all that stuff. I just don't exactly know where he's going to fit. Being a Euro ball guy, it's always kind of like hard to call where the Euro guys are going to land.
Is he Manu Ginobili, or is he just kind of, like the Bargnanis?
Yeah, and they're brought up like learning how to play team ball. It's not the same as the Americans where they're like, you got to go out and get yours, score 25, and try to pad your stats at the end of the game so that it looks good. They're like pass first kind of mentality, even when he can score. I mean, he can put up 20 a game, but his mentality will always be that pass first, try and play smart, be nice to your teammates kind of a thing.
And what I don't get, going back to Marvin Bagley, is that his best position is probably the 5. It's not the 4. But you already have Willie Cauley-Stein there.
Yeah,
Willie Cauley-Stein's contract is up. They haven't extended him. Do you sign Willie Cauley-Stein to 4 years, $80 million, like Clint Capella? He's only 25. They have the same skill set.
For $80 million, I don't know. He's going to have to prove something this year for sure. Like, he got 28 minutes a game last year and was putting up 13 and 7. You got to put up way better numbers than that if you're going to go $20 million a year, in my opinion.
I mean, at least Clint Capella's at 14 points, 11 rebounds a game.
Yeah, that's a double-double guy. He's in the NBA. Honestly, he's probably worth $20 million with the way that these contracts are coming out now. I mean, 13-7. I don't know if he's worth re-signing at that point, depending on like where the Kings are at. So looking at, there's kind of a mess. Like as far as like their salary cap situation and trying to figure out where they're going in the future, because you've got Randolph, who's I'm not really sure if he's going to be around next year, around the Kings at least.
No, at age 38, I don't think you bring him back. I think this is probably his last go around.
And he's still producing like reasonable numbers.
I think they're going into the season with so many bigs already on the roster besides Zach Randolph. I mean, you look at the bottom of the roster: Wayne Gabriel, Deontay Davis, Skal Labissiere, my boy Harry Giles, which we'll get into later.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and Costa Koufos. How many bigs is that? How many bigs do you really need on the roster?
Yeah, that's a big team.
I think between Wayne Gabriel, Deontay Davis, and Skal Labissiere, they're just trying to find somebody who they can cut, somebody who they think can be a project. But, I mean, they've already tried this with Euros Papayonis. I mean, it's just the Vlade Divac effect. He just wants bigs who can do things.
He's attracted to it. I like having Zach Randolph on the team like that with Marvin Bagley and Willie Cauley-Stein, the younger guys, and trying to show them around the league a little bit. Iman Shumpert, they're going to have to dump him. $11 million. That's crazy.
Yeah, Zach Randolph needs to show them the old drop step over the left shoulder.
Oh yeah, and I'm a little bit disappointed in him. He shot more threes last year than he did in his whole career.
Yikes!
You got to stop shooting the three ball. He's like one of the few guys that can still produce. He's been producing the exact same way for like 20 years.
Just a bruiser.
Yeah. I love that old school style of play. And he's proven that it can still be like effective with those little short corner jumpers and stuff.
I don't think you bring back Costa Koufos at age 30. I don't see how he fits, especially at almost $9 million.
Yeah, no way.
He's getting now.
I mean, they've got so many young guys that they can take on. But that's the thing. They're just taking on young guys, and it's filling up their cap space.
Well, and they don't even have a veteran point guard to settle anything. They have Frank Mason, De'Aaron Fox, Yogi Ferrell.
And you got to figure out if De'Aaron Fox is going to be your guy going forward. Do you think he's their guy?
Thing about De'Aaron Fox, he's young. This is his second year in the league, 19. I think he is. I think he can. I think he's a mix between John Wall and Rondo. I think coming off the pick and roll, if he can improve his 3-point shooting, just make it respectable. I mean, 30% is just you can't get it done. I mean,
that's
last year he got all of his rookie bumps. I mean, 11.2 PER, 41% from the field goal, 30% from three, 11 points, 4 assists. I mean, clearly there's going to be expectations for him to get better. I think a lot of red flags will be raised if he doesn't.
He's definitely got to get 3-point percentage up, or else he's got to really maximize what he does off the pick and roll. And I like what he does off the pick and roll, but it leads to crazy turnovers. And he is averaging quite a few turnovers.
I will say this. Judging by the Stauskas and the Jimmy Fredette picks, I think they really didn't mess up this time on De'Aaron Fox.
I would agree with that, yeah.
If you consider both of those picks as like the guards that they believe in.
Yeah.
You know?
I like De'Aaron Fox. I think he has potential to be good on the defensive end of the floor as well. So.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I like the John Wall comp. And Rondo with a jump shot. I mean, he's just a left-handed Rondo. Maybe not as skilled as a passer isn't, but I mean, who is?
And Harry Giles.
Harry Giles, who should have been the best player in the class of 2016, class of 2017 draft.
Yeah. And honestly, he should have been probably the best player in the summer league. At least some kind of award. He looked incredible.
He looked great. He looked long. He looked athletic. I mean, for 3 knee surgeries in the span of 5-7 years, I think the first one was in 2013. I mean, he had the 17-point outburst against the Lakers.
Yeah, he looked really, really good.
He's got a great looking jumper.
When he checked in and started doing his thing, it seemed like he was kind of like this, like a guy coming from the G League.
Yeah.
People didn't really know, hadn't really seen that much.
It's the year when you just can take a red shirt. It's the red shirt year. It really matures you. You know, you're around NBA vets who literally take you under their wing and teach you how to be, you know, we're both, to bring this back to our lives, Miles and I are both, we just graduated and we're just now in the working force. And it's been an adjustment. And a year later, you're not in the same place mentally that you were.
No, not at all.
Exactly. And for Harry Giles, I think there's no alpha on this team. He knows what it's like when you're 16 years old and everyone's kissing your ass, wanting an autograph. And he also knows what it's like to be the person where they don't know who you are. And they say, why did we pick him?
Yeah. He's had that little bit of like failure, like a little bit scared that maybe this isn't going to work out the way that he envisioned it.
It's like,
I think that's been like really healthy for him, to be honest with you.
It's like the Villanova Bridges Philadelphia situation.
Yeah. I think Giles should be, if I was a GM in Sacramento, if I'm a coach there, he should definitely be the focal point.
Oh, I think Dave Yeager knows talent. I think he can identify talent.
How they'll all work together, I'm curious to see. Because, like you said, it's all big men. So Bagley,
it's all big men.
Cauley-Stein, Styles, Bogdanovich, he's going to be more on the outside, I guess. But then you got Randolph, Kufis. You got to figure out how to.
They should have brought back Seth. They should have brought back Seth Curry. I mean, at least he could have been a playmaker for them. Yogi Ferrell, really?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. They don't have anybody really nobody really to respect the perimeter, except for.
Don't say Buddy Hield. Don't say Buddy Hield.
No, I wasn't going to say Buddy Hield. I was going to say Bogdanovich.
Okay, yeah, Bogdanovich.
I think he's shooting close to 40% from 3-point range. He's the only one. Who's the other one? Ben McLemore was the other one that I was disappointed in. His percentages have not been good.
No, but maybe.
I mean, not for being a shooting guard, at least.
Maybe a return back to Memphis helps, or back to Sacramento helps. God, he only played 1 season in poor Sacramento. The guy can't get away outside of Sacramento.
Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna help him. This is why Sacramento is such a problem.
So how do we see them playing? I mean, clearly you have to start Marvin Bagley, you have to start Willie Cauley-Stein, you have to start De'Aaron Fox. I mean, who are the others to fill out that top starting 5 for you? Buddy Hield?
Oh man. To fill out
back home, Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox?
I would probably put Bogdanovich in.
Yeah.
And then go with
Bogdanovich at the 3?
Oh man, I don't know. I'd probably go toward like the strength that you've got. Because do you start Randolph?
No. Maybe to start the season, just to keep him interested. Randolph and Willie Cauley-Stein.
I mean,
Actually,
I would definitely start Bagley, Cauley-Stein, and then maybe Harry Giles. To be honest with you, he's long and athletic enough to probably run the 3 with Bogdanovich at the 2, I guess, and
I mean,
Fox at the 1.
maybe mid-season, but I don't think he starts the season.
I mean, they're bad enough. I'd take a
They
chance
are
on
bad
it.
enough.
I like Jaeger too, and I like that he's going to try to coach a little bit faster pace, at least, like he says. But they're too big to coach as fast a pace as he wants to play, I think.
Note on Dave Yeager, his win-loss, his first year in Houston or Memphis, 50-32, second year 55-27, third year, the fire year, 42-40.
So winning seasons.
Sacramento, he comes first season 32-50, last season 27-55.
Oh, that's not that good, but I mean, they could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
I feel like they could do really bad this year, like a Charlotte Bobcats type of season where they have 12 wins or something.
I mean, there's just no playmakers on this roster at all.
I can see things going really, really poorly if they try to focus on Bagley and he's not able to have the support that he needs around the perimeter because they're going to be really easy to guard. It's going to be just like pack it in, double team, and then maybe
Kick
maybe
out
throw a hand up for Bogdanovich.
one player I was disappointed with kind of his rookie year was Justin Jackson. 30% from 3.
Yeah.
I thought he was a better shooter than that. I mean, 6.7 points. I think he needs to take a step or they get rid of him.
Yeah,
But
he definitely needs to take a step.
he does look like a contributor. I mean, I remember watching young Will Barton in Portland, and I think Justin Jackson's more skilled than him. But
Yeah,
I mean, I guess Will Barton was just kind of a crazy athlete too.
Will the
Not
thrill.
God, how good is he now? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Did you like Yogi Ferrell at all in all of his stops?
I kind of did
in Dallas. He averaged 10 points last year.
Yeah, I like Yogi Ferrell.
10 points, 2 assists.
I actually just bought the insoles that he wears in his shoes.
They have him listed as shooting guard for this last year. I guess he's a 6-foot shooting guard. That's a pretty small shooting guard.
His percentages are good. I don't know.
42% from the field, 37% from 3, 80% from the line.
Yeah, I mean, in 28 minutes per game, that's not really the production that you want. 10, 3, and 2.5. That's not that much going on in 28 minutes.
Would you start him over De'Aaron Fox? I don't think I would.
No, I wouldn't.
No, just let you.
I like De'Aaron Fox in that he can get to the mid range, but I think that's going to be a problem for Sacramento, being that they're already kind of crammed in close to the basket. They're going to be fighting for block space. It's like Willie Cauley-Stein, is he going to step out and shoot a 3? Is he going to step out into short corner and be able to knock down a jump shot? I think Bagley will.
You know, the more I'm looking at this roster, the more I honestly think it may not be the worst team.
I don't think they're technically the worst talent-wise, but I mean, the collection of them, it's going to be tough to make them a winning team.
I don't know. I think they have a better roster than Orlando.
That might be true.
I like De'Aaron Fox better than whoever they have. So I'm looking at NBADraft.net, their mock draft. They have the odds 7th right now. They're selecting Cam Reddish from Duke. Do you think they get in the top 5 again this year? I mean, do they tank for Zion? Do they need RJ? Do they need RJ Barrett? I mean, I guess a lot depends on Harry Giles and how his development is. And
would Zion actually help Sacramento? I know he would.
I don't think so.
But
I think RJ Barrett's the only player that could come in and save this franchise from this draft.
It's another yeah. I mean, Zion is another guy that's going to go in and try to play bully ball in the paint, which is where he's going to be great, but he needs to be on a team. I mean, to really help a team, I think he needs to be somewhere where they've got shooters. Sacramento just doesn't have shooters.
You know, Zion kind of does look like Zach Randolph, like appearance-wise, not game-wise. Exactly, not opposite game-wise.
Yeah, he's definitely like bully. I like Zion, but I hope Sacramento doesn't get him. Looking at the way Sacramento is set up for the future, I think they're going to be bad for a while.
Yeah.
Regardless of who they're picking up.
Maybe if they get that Nasir Little from North Carolina, 6'6" small forward. Pretty athletic wing. Yeah, he can shoot fairly decently. We'll see. You know, he's from Orange Park, Florida. North Carolina hasn't been on the radar for a while, though.
Yeah.
But
City of Palms. That's the tournament I was talking about. So he went to this. Where did he go to high school? Orlando Christian Prep. Oh,
yeah. So Kings, dumpster fire. I mean, yeah, I would say relocate, but they just built a new stadium. They're not going to go anywhere. Inaugural episode of the Hoop Report. Please show us love. We're just chilling.
What's your prediction? What's your prediction on Sacramento's record next year?
Okay, here we go. Final prediction. I don't think they get more than 30 wins. I think it's another 28-win season, 27-win season.
I'm predicting 22.
Oof.
22.
It's rough, man. It's rough.
22 and 60. That's what they're going to do. 60 losses.
Yeah, we'll revisit this series probably before the draft. We'll talk about Sacramento again throughout the season.
When they match up against Atlanta.
We're honestly just two guys. We love ball. We love talking about ball. So we just wanted to come on and talk some ball. End of the inaugural episode.